So, Dan, after about 3 weeks, I think, we're back, right?
We sure are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to First Impressions. We are on Twin Peaks, Season 2, Episode 4. We are almost there, almost-ish there to the reveal of Laura's killer.
At this point, I don't even know if it's worth it.
I'm sorry, I'm making Dan suffer through this.
She's really not. I'm fully voluntarily going through this because this is just. I'm always on board for a good head trip, and boy howdy is this show ever a good head trip.
So before we get into anything, can I just say this was probably the best viewing I've had of Twin Peaks, at least the lead up to it, because the timing was so perfect. Dan sat down. It's been about, oh my gosh, I think actually it's been over a month since we last saw the last episode.
Could be, yeah.
And then he said, all right, let's see what weirdness Twin Peaks has for us this time. And he pressed play, and then
Well, welcome back to Twin Peaks.
welcome back. And it was like, you know, we were trying to figure out what it was.
It could have been anything.
I was like, is it an eye?
It was traveling down this tubular thing. There was like hairs or fibers of some sort, and obviously it was going to reveal itself as it magnified out. And it revealed itself to be one of the teeny tiny little pinholes you see in that, like, wallpaper, not wallpaper.
Ceiling tiles.
Ceiling tiles.
Yeah.
The ones with the millions of tiny little pinholes.
Did you see that X-Files episode? It's the one that Mulder throws pencils into. Anyway.
Yeah, you would refer to an X-Files reference.
I would. It's
Yes.
90s. It's filmed in Vancouver. You know, whatever. Things really picked up this episode in terms of developments. We find out that, well, Audrey's kidnapping is finally brought to light. Everybody knows about it.
Yeah, the brother, Jean, what's his name?
Jean Renault, because Jacques Renault.
Yeah,
is...
Jean Renault has revealed, has
Renault?
brought the ransom tape of Audrey's kidnapping to her father, and basically said, "Yep, we got her. We want money." And that's about it.
Yeah, we find out, just quickly glancing over plot points. The one that I'm least invested in, that I've always not been invested in, is the Lucy Andy pregnancy plot line.
Yeah, in terms of the actual plot line itself, it's very sort of almost like sitcom level of storytelling.
Seriously?
But in terms of the beat for beat moments and everything, it does reveal itself to be very much the uncanny Twin Peaks goings-ons of these small town people.
Yeah.
I realized this, and retroactively, this is applicable to every single scene that Lucy's been in. But the one thing, remember, I always talk about the one thing of every scene in this show. The one thing with every episode or every scene that Lucy's in is her lipstick. It has got to, because it's not like a. It's
next time I'm here, I'm wearing some bright lipstick.
It's like a bright fluorescent orange lipstick.
Yeah.
What? Who wears that?
We catch up with. Well, we catch up with the big one is Leland. He's been he's admitted to killing Jacques Renault.
Yeah, but he sort of broke down in front of the sheriff and been like, you know, like, it's very understandable where he's coming from, because he believed that Jacques Renault killed his daughter. So you know, fights of passion or whatever, and he decided to go through it. And he's being pretty like straightforward with the sheriff.
Yeah.
And Agent Cooper, so that was pretty cool to see. It brings the element of a drama back to this dramatic series, because that's how this whole thing got started, and it's still an ongoing thing.
Then we catch up with Donna and creepy shutting guy who has this the second journal, which should clearly be with the police, but you know, understandably, he's not all there as a shut-in, and Donna has to be very careful how she treads with how she goes about getting this journal back, because
I made it a very obvious point that I'm fixating on this guy as prime suspect number one for the death of Laura Palmer in my mind. I mean, I have to have somebody in this crazy mishmash of wacky characters that I can just focus on, that I can just root for one way or another being the actual murderer, and I'm putting my chips on that asshole.
And then there's I'm not forgetting anything. We finally catch up with the mill people. The mill.
Oh yeah, the woman, the Asian woman, Josie. She's finally back. Like, she disappeared for.
Yeah.
Like, has she been back at all for season 2?
No.
Like, she disappeared after the mill burnt down for mysterious reasons. She's back and she's acting very squirrely.
So squirrely. Like, obviously she's been doing wrong.
Yes, there's been hints that she's, got something going on with the dude from the diner, but she's also got, like, the Chinese mafia, apparently, like, coming over to the pond to visit her, because there's a couple of reveals of, like, Chinese, like, traditional, like, Asian hitmen just popping up out of nowhere. I had the biggest laugh in one of the scenes where one of them just showed up at the lodge, at the mill or whatever, and he's just there, and he's like, got the Fu Manchu mustache and trench coat and top hat and everything, and he's just there, stone cold affectation. I'm just like, that's the one thing, but wow, is that ever one of a big one thing.
We got the biggest reaction out of Dan this episode was that moment. So yeah, those are the main plot points. Actually, there's not too much other than like Audrey having her, like, you catch up with Audrey too, but that's just mostly Audrey, like, it sucks being.
Yeah, Audrey's like been like drugged up and everything. She's held hostage at One-Eyed Jack's, and she's being abused by some of the patrons there, who are actually sort of fighting over her because John is sort of proving his dominance over some of the other sleazy people. They're knocking her around everything, and he just flat out kills one of them, and then just sort of passes it off as, don't worry, I'm going to look after you, by killing this guy off. And Audrey has the best reaction to it, because for once in this entire series, she perfectly responds 100% accurately like a real human being would, because she's drugged out of her mind. This guy's, like, knocked her around over her. He just got killed by this other, much more scary-looking dude, and who is now, like, giving her a hug to try and comfort her. And she breaks down crying, and it's the best thing ever, because that's exactly what she should be doing.
Yeah, so apart from plot things, this episode was chock full of just crazy moments. Dan just kept, like,
the scene earlier, when the Chinese guy shows up at the lodge, right before that, I think this is why that scene landed with such a punch, because the setup before that was amazing. It fades in on that scene, and there is just a random beauty pageant for, like,
Miss Lumber.
And there's, like, beauty pageants, just walking by. They never mentioned it at the rest of the episode. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not touched on again for the rest of the series. Yeah. But there's just contestants, like, traveling from their dressing room to the pageant or whatever. And that's it. That's all that happens.
And then it's like, Asian guy.
And then Asian guy.
And by the way, Asian guy is actually being set up as this secret food/travel critic that.
Oh yeah, but that my new favorite character of the whole series.
Oh yeah.
There's this running rumor that this secret shopper or secret hotel critic or restaurant critic is going.
Can we have a restroom critic, please? I feel like we need those more.
Yes, we do. But anyway, he's supposedly showing up in Twin Peaks. Nobody knows who he is because he never pays with credit cards and everything. He only ever pays with cash. So nobody really knows the identity of this man or woman. So there's this front desk woman that works at the lodge who is so super keen on, like, nailing who this person is and impressing her boss and everything. She is just, like, going for Employee of the Month with her performance, and it's amazing.
So that's great. And also, I don't know, my favorite moment was Cooper reacting to Lucy, who finally just asks Lucy flat out.
Yeah, Cooper steps to her and just like, okay, like, I'm gonna try and be like, let's be adults about this. Why don't you just use your words and tell us what's going on with Lucy? Lucy, of course, she tries to get it out of her, but she's, of course, a little broken up about it and everything, and she flies off the handle and just, like, breaks down or whatever.
But it's this one delivery of, because she says...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she says, like, Andy and I used to go out, and then, like,
and Cooper is just straight as an arrow. He's just like, I gathered that.
Yeah.
And Amanda and I are sitting here being like, yes! the rest of the world gathered that. It was not exactly subtle.
One thing that I've kind of latched onto is actually Donna's character development. I don't think I appreciated it as much before. She started this whole series as a very passive character.
As very much a victim, as like the close friend of the person who died and everything.
And then she was very much like, you know, her central thing was the love plot. And now she's pretty much a free agent. She acts on her own. She even makes it very apparent to Maddie.
She has a weird scene with cousin character whose name I can never remember, Maddie, in the diner where she starts to, like, Maddie, like, obviously is in a little bit of hot water with her because she found out about Maddie and James.
Yeah.
I still can't remember the characters' names. So that scene started off so amazingly because she's sitting there kind of nervous because she's like, I don't know if Donna's going to freak out on me or, like, blow up at me or so. She's like, I didn't know how mad you were at me. And it cuts to Donna sitting there with, like, the cigarette in hand with the look in her face just like, I would tear your head off if I didn't have better things to think about right now.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then, but that conversation between the two girls really sort of went as a back and forth thing because Donna also wants to ask her for help and everything. So they've got some sort of back and forth. So there's the leverage levels of both characters in that dialogue exchange was like flip-floppity and everything, but they're just sitting there as like stone cold bitches staring at each other, just trading glances, and it was kind of an interesting scene to see. It was very much sort of like the complete opposite spectrum to the very last scene in the episode, which was right on just a straight up kung fu fight.
The last thing I'd like to bring up is just because it was more apparent in this episode, but the soundtrack and the timing of it. Specifically, there's a scene when Cooper's been, you know, enlisted to help get Audrey back, right?
Yes.
They don't want to involve the authorities, but luckily there's this secret society, remember? And the Bookhouse Boys, I think it was? Yeah, the Bookhouse Boys. And he just goes up, and there's like no music at any point before this, and he's just like, Harry, I need your help or something. And then,
well, it was a transition from the scene where Cooper's talking to the receptionist girl and everything, and that awkwardness, and then it's that scene that spills over into this dialogue, and you can hear the transition with like the audible clunk of a needle drop as the music just cuts in, like the slow jazz groove theme that never suits any situation properly. Just bang, drops right in the middle of that conversation. It's like, boom, here's the transition to this different subplot.
Okay, so I think that's it for now.
That's not it for now. You're definitely
no,
itching
I'm going
to
to make him watch another episode right now. But that's it for this episode and our thoughts on it. What does that say? Focus on a selected thing. Okay.
Your camera's being weird.
My camera's being weird. Anyway, thanks guys. We are going to continue onwards, and
thank you to the 2 or 3 of you out there who are really invested in our opinions of this show.
Or
we really appreciate
what we think.
We didn't expect that to happen, but that's awesome of you guys. So good on you.
Good on you. Also, if you haven't checked it out yet, Dan also has a YouTube channel.
Yes.
And he has actually, you have 2, right?
I have 2, yes.
Yeah, so you have a Let's Play channel in which he plays video games. Occasionally I will join him on one of those video games. Especially
when you buy me scary games that you're too scared to play yourself.
Yes. Then, and I'll post it in the link below. He also has a regular video channel in which you're doing Vita right now.
Yes,
right?
vlogging every day in April.
Yeah,
for the entire month of April this year, and in the last 5 years, I've been doing one vlog every single day. It has been challenging.
Yes. Anyway, thanks guys, and we will catch you later. Bye-bye.